this is going to be a Valentine's makeup look. I know, it's absolutely like the most forward-thinking video that you've ever seen in your life. But I'm gonna try and pin my fringe back a little bit out of the way to start. It's just gonna cause catastrophe, isn't it? I thought I'll wear a red headband. It'll be nice because it's a Valentine's look, and I'm not sure this is how it's gonna work. Kinda looking like the 5-year-old version of myself right now, but now this isn't going to be one of these like absolutely amazing you know, bright pink and hearts coming out the side of your eye kind of looks, simply because although when I was younger I loved colour, I loved those kind of looks. I actually will insert some kind of little picture up here. Bright pink eyeshadow, thick black liner were probably a thing that I was very much into when I was 19, going to the cat house, feeling like a rock star. But not so much what I do now. So this is going to be a much more kind of, let's say, pretty Valentine's makeup. Date night makeup, if you want to call it that. Even for a first date, for me, I would never always go all out on the makeup. Even when I loved my pink eyeshadow, I wouldn't go all out on a first date. I wanted to look as much like me as I could, because it's one thing if you meet somebody in the dancing and you're like lashes, lips, blush, glitter, and they like you, and then you meet them the next day and you don't have that on and you don't look anything like yourself. Can be a bit of a shock to their system. So first dates, I like to go as neutral me as possible, erring on the side of pretty, and we are going to do something pink because it's Valentine's, and obviously, like, yes. Now if you've noticed, I do have this lovely friend here and this lovely friend here. This one isn't actually so bad, he just kind of popped and went. This here is agony and very, very sore. So I am going to be putting on a base. I'm going to use my It Cosmetics CC cream. The reason I'm just letting you know is because I'm going to whiz through this. I'm sure you've seen somebody put on a base, a foundation, a CC cream, a BB cream a million times before. So I'm just going to whiz through that. In saying that, I hope you can see some kind of difference once I do this. Okay, so you may have noticed there that I use my fingers to put on the CC cream, and I know a lot of people maybe would have been watching and squirming in their seats. But here's the thing, it's got like active ingredients in it for aging, all this other kind of stuff. It can be used as a moisturiser. I would put on a moisturiser with my fingers, not a brush. But what I do find is you get kind of streaky bits. It doesn't blend out fantastically with my fingers. So then I go in with a brush and just kind of buff out the areas that I need a little bit more perfection. And I do take it right over my eye socket as well. I know people can be funny about that and they feel, oh, you know, put on a primer on your eyelid, something different. But I'm kind of like, it's got the anti-aging in it, it's got the SPF in it. You know, I'm gonna put it everywhere. It's not completely covered these bad boys up, but it's not done a bad job at evening out my skin. So that's a bonus. Right down the neck. Now, if this was like any normal situation and I didn't have two massive zits on my face, I would just be taking my Glossier Stretch under the eyes, a little bit here, because I do get discoloration, because this is the only area, I think I've mentioned this before, that I do get zits and things. Then with a dinky sponge, I just do that very quickly. I think that this is probably, you know, I said, oh, I'll whiz through this, but for anybody who doesn't know me, anybody who hasn't watched any of my videos before, hi, welcome, very nice to see you. I do a very minimal base for generally most looks, unless I'm going to something like a wedding or something that I think, I don't know. But generally this is what I would do. I try not to do too much heavy face makeup. I think it makes me look older, and nobody needs that. Okay, so for base, that's pretty much it. That's what I would wear on a day-to-day basis. But I think that It's a really nice natural base. I do still wonder if I should have got the CC cream in light instead of fair. Fair is lighter than light. Seems a bit backwards, but it's the truth. I do wonder. Sometimes I look and I think it's okay because I'm quite pale anyway, but then I look again and I think, is it just a little bit too light? But a really nice natural base for going on your first date or date night, whatever. This is, you know, I would wear this going on a night out, it doesn't matter to me. Now if this was in the summer, I would add a little bit of bronzer. I quite like, I've said before, my favourite's the Body Shop gel bronzer. It's not available anymore. I've heard a lot of good things about Milk Makeup, the stick bronzer. Might look into that. That looks very interesting. But I'm not going to do that today because it is most definitely still winter. Although a nice bright sunny day. Very, very cold in Scotland. So I'm going to just keep it to kind of blush and highlighter. Again, I'm really sorry if that makes anybody feel a bit like, oh, what do you mean? You're not doing contour? You're not doing bronzer? Well, no, I don't do that every single day. So this is what I'm going for. Just a really simple makeup look. So I thought I would break out this bad boy. I've not used this for quite some time. And it is the Stila Convertible Blush. I think it's like lip and cheek something. Convertible colour. In Lilium. And I used to wear this a ton. I'm sure I've included this in previous favourite videos. And I really, really like these little blushers. I love cream blush, what can I say? But I wanted to use something different from my Glossier blush because I've been using it quite a lot. And I totally forgot just how pretty this pink colour is. And I thought that nice kind of Valentine's-y look. So I'm just going to pop some of this on. Now I've got massive cheeks. Absolutely massive cheeks. So there's quite a lot of area to cover. I try and not do too 80s right up here. Oh look, that's quite strong. Oh dear. I try and not do too much kind of 80s right up my cheek. Just more so on the front, on the apples or anywhere that I would think I would look flushed. A little bit more colour. I really like cream blushes because I feel like you can put on more and put on more without, you know, you go in with a brush, you stick something on, you can't really get it off your face. You can blend out a cream blush, which I really prefer. Now, I'm also going to put a little bit of blush here. And you probably think I'm mad. Absolutely mad. But I think this is quite an old school thing people used to do. Like the blush would come and kind of tie in with the rest of the colour of the face. I've seen Lisa Eldridge do it. She seems to know what she's talking about. And recently when I watched I Covet Thee, Alex from I Covet Thee, she also put the blush everywhere, not just on her cheeks. So I'm giving it a bash today. Might look a bit crazy, but I'm gonna give it a bash. And I don't think that looks too bad. I don't think it looks too like I have blusher absolutely everywhere on my face. I think that's okay. So as you're watching this, I am actually going on a date night tonight. It is the day before Valentine's Day, but I'm going to go and meet some lady friends tomorrow. Galentine's or whatever it is. I think Galentine's Day is today and Valentine's Day is tomorrow. But we're doing it a bit backwards. So this evening, me and Alan are going to go to the cinema and tomorrow I'm going to go and meet my friends for a pint. But in saying that, we are going, I'm just going to take... spoke about these before as well. I will link any products that I mentioned, that I've mentioned in previous videos. I will link above and I will link every single product that I'm using down below. But I have used this before. It's the H&M kind of duo highlighter stick, and the reason I'm using this is because this is one with a very nice pink tone to it on the cheekbones. So we're going to the cinema this evening and we've went the last 2 weeks. This will be the 3rd week running. We have that Cineworld thing, you know. I use this. I don't want jumping back and forward, I'm sorry. I use this the way I would use my Glossier Halo Scope thing. It's very, very similar. Again, love cream highlighters, cream blushes. So we went, what did we go and see last week? We went to see Mary Queen of Scotland. I couldn't bloody remember there, oh my god. We went to see Mary Queen of Scots, and the week before that we went to see Vice. So this week we are going to go and see The Favourite, which is The Favourite to win the Oscars, right? I don't think this is showing up on the camera quite as much as it is in real life, but this highlight stick has a real opalescence. I think it's called opaline or something like that, I can't remember. And it is a very kind of pink tint. So yeah, last week we went to see Mary Queen of Scots. Quite like that, although when we came out, Alan was a bit like, God, that went on for ages. And then when I realised it had actually only been on for like 2 and a bit hours, which, you know, suggests I'm just using Hourglass just to set roundabout areas I feel I need, because I've obviously covered up these. It hasn't completely covered this spot, but 2 reasons why I'm not going in with a bigger concealer. 1, I think sometimes when you cover spots like that with a really heavy concealer, it can look a little bit worse. And 2, Alan knows me, and if I've got a spot, I've got a spot. He's going to see it with or without the makeup, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, yes, so Mary Queen of Scots. I thought that was, yes, good. Maybe I, you know, felt like it was on a little bit longer. I enjoyed it, that's the truth. I really enjoyed it because I quite like a period drama. I quite like very lightly dust here. I don't generally do too much powder everywhere. So I like a period drama. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Alan was a bit like, maybe a bit more one for you and your mum to go and see. Not really up his street. Not saying that men won't enjoy it, but wasn't for him. Vice though, that's the one about, not Donald Trump, Dick Cheney, the guy who was vice president when Bush was in power, young W. Bush. Because for me, when 9/11 happened, I think I was only in 2nd or 3rd year when 9/11 happened. I was probably about 12 or 13, you know. And I think that when that happened, you know, it wasn't quite as open, media wasn't quite as open, you know, Twitter and all these things weren't about for people to be like, well, this is that's happening, live updates. We only got fed to us what the news told us. And I think that it covers it quite well in this film. But it was also made by the same people who do, I'm just going to pop on Glossier and Cub on my eyelids. I'll maybe zoom you in a little bit, just so you can... So, made by the same people who done The Big Short, and I really, really enjoyed The Big Short. That was about the housing crash or the market crashing in 2008, and I thought that was fantastic because equally in 2008 I think I was staying in London, and it was quite apparent, even for me being a young person not owning a house or anything, it was quite apparent about the panic of it all. And I thought The Big Short was fantastic. I don't think the Vice film, the Vice, it's not called The Vice, it's just called Vice, was quite as good, but maybe one you could wait till it came on Netflix or came out on DVD or something like that. I wouldn't rush to go and see it, but if you really like period dramas, I would rush to go and see Mary Queen of Scots, and I'm quite looking forward to seeing The Favourite tonight as well. Very simple. I have just smooshed this out a little bit with my finger. Now you could leave it at that, work on lots of lashes and be on your way, just a little wash of colour, but I'm going to put a little bit more something in there because it's supposed to be a Valentine's look and people will be like, yeah, this is shit. If you ever feel like I want that rosy kind of look but I don't have any eyeshadows like that, use a blusher. There's no reason why you can't. I had mentioned back in one of my summer videos I had been using the Kiko Eyes and Cheeks palette. I think mine's is the Smart palette and it's number 3. Came with all these lovely kind of really bronzy Naked Heat rival colours, but the blush was just a little bit too dark for my face, so I'm going to use a tiny bit of that through the socket. Just put a little bit of this through here. It's almost a little bit more warm toned than it is pink, but I don't mind that. And when I'm doing this, I do run it over the kind of lid area too, so it's a little bit more of these like one and done eyes. You know, people say, oh, I've just got one eyeshadow on my eyelid. I think, how have you done that? Like, I can't do it. I've never been able to do one of those one and done eye looks. I always need to put a little bit, couple colours on. Now, at the risk of this, I don't want this turning into a plum berry look because it's very easily done. But I'm going to take a tiny bit of MAC Dolly Mix, again another blush, because I've got more. I could work out the electric palette and it's got a bright neon pink, but that's not really what I'm going for. But just a tiny bit more pink in the kind of outer corner and socket, just to make it a little bit more, I hate saying girly, but it's kind of, I suppose, girly. It's really quite un-PC to say girly now because, you know, girls shouldn't have pink toys, things like that. I like pink, I'm not gonna dispute that. And it just, see how it just lifts it ever so slightly. So. And I'm sure Dolly Mix is a matte blush. I don't think it's got any shimmer in it, but there's plenty shimmer underneath from the Glossier anyway. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to go back in with the Kiko palette and take a little bit of that blush again and just run it underneath my eye. I am very much a lady who doesn't mind being a little bit grungy, smoky underneath the eye, probably because I still want to live out my cat house goth years, if I'm honest. So I am gonna just bring that right down. Creasing happens with concealer, and sometimes I feel if you do a little bit more smoky, it just rectifies that situation a little bit. There we go. It's nothing groundbreaking, if I'm honest with you. I'm not going to claim that it is, but just a nice little wash of colour. And I think, to be fair, in real life this is a little bit brighter than it looks on the camera, but what you see in the thumbnail, that'll be what it looks like. Now I'm going to take Riot from Urban Decay's 24/7 Glide On eye pencils. It is a kind of purple tone, plum tone. And as I said, I didn't want it to creep into a berry toned look, but I feel that there needs to be a little bit of something just above my lash line. So this is what I'm going with, and I'm just gonna smudge that out a little bit. Now, I would wholeheartedly still wear this with a black flick. I know people cringe, but I do want it to be a little bit more neutral and natural. What I am going to do is take MAC's Opal Pigment. Don't worry if you don't have MAC's Opal Pigment, it truly doesn't matter. There are some really good dupes out there. Actually, wait, and I'll just show you. I have the Makeup Academy Undress Your Skin Shimmer Highlight, and it's in Peach Diamond. But this is, I feel, a very pink toned highlight, and it works in the exact same way that Opal Pigment does. Opal Pigment is just maybe got a little bit more pop to it. And it's that kind of iridescent white pink. So I'm just going to pop that here. The thing I adore about the pigments is when you mix them kind of with your other, when it starts to melt with the other shades, I just love the effect it gives. When I was about 15, Body Shop brought out kind of iridescent pressed powders, way before highlighting was a thing. And I had a pink one, a green one and a blue one, and it was like those kinds where if you put it over the top of a black liner, it was like turned to a metallic blue instead of like this iridescent blue, and I fell in love with them. So I've always loved those kind of, what do you call them, like shift kind of eyeshadows with white shift, you know, I love it. Okay, now I'm gonna curl my lashes and apply some mascara. It's not that exciting. I'm gonna use the Worth the Hype from NYX. I spoke about this in my recent favourites from January. And I have to say, it has remained a favourite. It's not quite as voluminous, volumatic, I don't bloody know. Doesn't give you quite so much volume and length as Roller Lash, but I like that it's quite a natural looking mascara, and for the purposes of this makeup look, I think that's exactly what I need. Okay, so that is both my eyes done. I do really like this mascara. I think it's really nice. It's very natural, it's very glittery, all this kind of stuff that you need for Valentine's Day, clearly. So yeah, I like that. Not bad. Again, much to many people's distaste, I am not going to put pencil through my brows because I'm going out to the cinema with my boyfriend, who I have been with for quite some time. And I do have quite dark brows, so if I put pencil through them, I find they look a little bit nuts. So they actually probably need plucked, to be honest with you. So I do this kind of little backcomb thing. I know some people might think, what are you doing that for? And I just brush them into some sort of uniformity. And I do like to brush them up as well because they're quite bushy, and apparently that's a good thing nowadays. I'm sure I've mentioned before, this was not a good thing when you were in high school, but thank God I didn't reach for the tweezers because I've seen the photos from the late 90s, early millennial. Not that I was looking any much better. Okay, so I'm quite happy with how that's turned out. It's kind of what I was going for, like girly pretty but still quite pink. I'm going to add a little bit of NARS Orgasm blush to my cheeks because it's a pretty pink blush, quite frankly. But I'm going to do this with a relatively light hand because I do already have some of the cream blush on. Don't want to end up looking absolutely batshit crazy. Well, see, maybe I'm just not good with powder blushes. Maybe that's my issue because I put them on and I think, oh my god, far too heavy-handed. I'm just gonna blend this out so I don't look like Coco the Clown. I am gonna bring it up kind of round about here again for the simple reason I want it to tie in, and like I said, that girl, when she does it, I think, my god, that's gorgeous. Tiny bit on my nose. Don't even know if I need to bother. I was going to put the kind of pink highlight here, but there's actually quite a lot of glow coming from the Orgasm blush, so I'm not going to go too crazy. So let's move on to lips. I'm just going to line my lips first of all with the Revolution makeup. I don't know what these are called, but the colour is Untouched, and I bought this thinking it was going to be a kind of deeper brown colour, but actually it's most definitely more of a plum. Now I don't want to go all out on this. The thing that I really enjoy about these lip liners, hold on, I'll put it on and then I'll talk to you. So I put it on now and I'm looking a little bit crazy, but the thing that I love about these lip liners is this. Once you press your lips together, it kind of just stains your lip rather than the line staying really solid, which I'm kind of loving. I'm really enjoying. I am going to go with the Clinique Tubby Stick Intense. This is one of the ones that's a bit more like a lipstick rather than just a balm, and it is in Roomiest Rose. It does have a slight bit of, can you call it shimmer? It doesn't have glitter bits in it, but there's definitely something in it. Again, I just put it on one of my lips and smoosh it together. Just for that kind of bitten look, rather than I have a balm on, or rather than it looks like I'm wearing a full-blown lipstick. If I put this on just all over, it would be really quite heavy. It's kind of dark, but just that little wash of colour. Yeah. Okay, so that is me preparated for my date night. And I quite like this. I like how it looks. I like it's relatively simple but still quite feminine. You still clearly have some makeup on, but it doesn't look like you're got a heavy thick mask of makeup on. If you like wearing heavy foundation, glitter, lashes, everything, you do you. Wear what you like. I don't care. I love doing that if I'm going on a night out, but generally as I get a bit older I feel this is a little bit more flattering. And as I say, Alan's seen me every awful way possible, like ugly crying, head down the toilet spewing, sitting on the toilet doing the other thing. Like, just once you get to a certain stage you can't like kid on as if I'm this pristine pretty little thing, because he knows I'm not. So this I really like though, and I hope that you can take something from it. I hope that you can maybe do your own take on it. If you do, please let me know below. Please link below. As I said, I will mention everything I've used down below. If you want to see anything else, then I will link some videos at the end. I have recently started posting my vlogs from Australia, so please go and have a look at them. The one in Sydney with my mum, every time I watch it, whenever I was editing the clips, made me laugh so much. My mum is a legend. My mum is one of the nicest ladies you'll ever meet in the world. She's a bit crackers, but but she's awfully nice and she's just great fun, and honestly she's the star of it. So please go and check out those vlogs. You can subscribe and there will be a little button of my face somewhere. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I would love to see you over there, and I hope you come back again soon. Bye.